Welcome to A New View. We are Restored Ministries, and today's episode we're talking about forgiveness, forgiving. It's a big, tall subject, but I think a lot of times it doesn't have to be something big. It can be something small. But what I always go back to is we forgive because that's what God instructs us to do.
Correct.
He doesn't say it's going to be easy. He doesn't say that it's a one-time thing. We have to keep sometimes forgiving, that kind of whole forgive, release, and bless. So I wanted to take some time today to find different ways that we kind of handle when we feel like we need to forgive, or something that we can send you with some encouragement if you're having an issue where you're saying, how do I do this? How do I walk this out?
You want me to go ahead and start?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to refer to Christian Healing Ministries. They have a fantastic School of Healing Prayer, and this is their level 1 class. This comes directly from their workbook, okay? So let me just say, there is no sin so great or horrific that cannot be forgiven. I'm just going to say that again.
Yes.
There is no sin so great or horrific that it cannot be forgiven. And often the hardest person to forgive is oneself.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. The grace that came into the world when Jesus died on the cross enables us to forgive and be forgiven. Forgiveness is a human decision, an act of will and obedience to Jesus Christ, but is aided by the wonderful gift given by Jesus on the cross through his blood. The act of forgiveness, I love this, is a silent miracle, and all of heaven rejoices when a sinner repents.
That's beautiful.
I love
That's
that.
Beautiful.
I love that. But it's hard sometimes. And I think that that in my life, when I've been wounded when I've been hurt, I'll tell you right now, I didn't forgive because I wanted to. I forgave because I needed to. And sometimes it's when forgiveness was never asked for.
Right.
You know, but in order for me to be free, I need to forgive. Because that's a lot of real estate to take up in my heart.
Oh, gosh.
Unforgiveness is a whole lot of real estate that you've got there in your heart. And it has woundings. And I believe that unforgiveness can also lead to ailments.
Oh, yeah. There's bitter roots, physical ailments. There's a lot
ailments that it can make. I believe in my heart of hearts that unforgiveness makes you sick.
Yes. Yeah. And like you said, it's a choice. Just like joy is a choice, we have to choose joy. We have to choose those things, but we have to choose forgiveness. But I love the realization when you said, because it's obedience. And I learned this in my own life in a really deep wounding where some people wounded me horribly, and I was a new Christian, and I was just like, what, are you kidding me? But God said, it's an obedient act to me. You forgive because I say so, not because they deserve it. And then the second step was when he said, now you're going to pray for them. And I'm like, not happening. Okay, through gritted teeth, I pray for them. I bless them. No, really.
Bless these fools, Lord.
Bless these fools if they get hit by a bus. No, I'm only joking. I always say that. No, but
don't write in on that.
Yeah, no, just kidding. But when you really start to pray, and my girlfriend Lisa and I were talking about this yesterday. I think Bill Johnson has a new series on prayer where he's talking about 5 people that really hurt him. He spends time and he really intercedes with them for prayer, and that's the only way to change your heart. And that's really true. Like at first it's so hard, it feels like it's through gritted teeth, but then you say, that's not really interceding for them. And you can't just say, Lord, show them the error of their ways. No, you have to really say, Lord, forgive them for they know not what they do. You know, forgive me if I took offense to this and it's part my responsibility. Lord, show me how, if this is mendable, if it's not mendable, but bless them. Give them favor, give them blessings, protect them, protect their family. I mean, in really heartfelt praying for them. That's the only thing I've found to get it from head knowledge to heart knowing, and to just soften that, to just that river of forgiveness just flow.
But something else too, and can you share, because I forget exactly what you said, but it helped me, that when you're confronted with a person that you're in the midst of this with, so you're forgiving someone. What was it that you said? Something about like forgive, release.
The forgive, release, bless.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So there was a person I was in conflict with, and when I see him, forgive, release, bless. Forgive, right? And I have to, like, in my head, and that's just kind of...
No, I do too.
Because I have to have something in my headspace to, like, I forgive them, I release them, I bless them. I forgive them, I release them, I bless them. And I just kind of say it over and over and over again until that time is passed, and it just helps me.
Yeah, because sometimes that's all we can get out until God really takes us deeper. And how he told me about it is, he says, you want to wake up every day, all day long, and you want to keep rehearsing those hurts? No. Or do you want to release them to me and let me do something with them? And I'm like, I'll stop rehearsing, I'll start releasing.
Wow. This one runs really deep. So I had some people who I was really close to for like 40 years and had to let them go. And that's hard to do after that length of time. And you wonder, how do you forgive stuff that occurred that would cause something like that? And for me, it's not, I probably put them in Michelle's water a few times and had her stir them away.
Stir the water.
I definitely did that 2 or 3 times, and I think that helps, that definitely worked. But it's not like, how do you forgive them? How do you forgive them? You just do. It's not time that just heals all wounds. It's pieces of these different aspects. It's that visual of watching them,
the release.
Yeah, in the water, and then, but at some point you just wake up and you realize, I'm not sad about this anymore. And then you're like, oh, I did it. I forgave them. So sometimes it can just be in hindsight.
Exactly.
I'm not holding on to that.
Right.
Like,
You're not rehearsing it all.
Right. And you still probably feel a sadness or a longing or wishing.
I don't even feel that anymore.
That's good. That's real good.
You are over
You are over it. That's really good.
Over it. And then because I'm a word nerd, I just wanted to play with this for y'all.
About you.
So, if you take the letters in forgiveness, some of the words, and you can come up with tons of them, but some of the words that you can come up with are egos, foes, grieve, resign, inverse, serve, genesis, freeing, rise, sovereign, and forgiven.
Oh, I love how you took it from one to
Yes, exactly.
I was like, don't stay here, please.
You know that it took to me like, you sit in the grief, the grief of what happened, but then one that you said was serve. That's kind of that praying for them. It's like getting the selflessness away from you and saying, I'm going to serve them by blessing them, praying for them.
And I think I really have to, if I were going to tell somebody how do you forgive someone, just through my experience, I would say I separated them, their flesh and their soul. Their flesh, I'm just done with. We're not having that anymore. But their soul is grieving for their actions. They don't, they know not what they do. They really don't. In this flesh, they don't understand what they've done. And you can't, how can you blame somebody if they really don't know?
Be okay with never getting that apology.
That has to be okay.
You have to be okay if they never say sorry. You're worth it enough to not hold on to that baggage. It's too much. Like, what did you say? It's too much real estate. It's
too much real estate in my heart.
Yeah, too much real estate in our heart. So tell us, #share your view. How do you forgive? Are you having trouble forgiving somebody? Can we pray for you? Whatever it is, we want you to share your view of a new view and tell us on forgiveness. How do you walk that out? How do you get it from head knowledge to heart knowing and move on and stop rehearsing those hurts and releasing them to God? Take care.